All right, we are so excited for everyone to be here. Thank you so much again for joining this new Zoom link. I know the other one, we just didn't know whose room that was in, so sorry for that technical difficulty. But we're gonna jump right in. So this is our hour with Achievement First Providence Elementary School. We might not be able to answer everyone's questions during this presentation tonight. I'm hoping that we do have a lot of time for questions. And if you do have any questions that we don't get to, our school phone number is here and our email address is here as well. And we can put that up again at the end of the meeting. If you cannot hear us, let's see. I would suggest just logging out and logging back in again and trying to connect to the audio and just making sure that you're connected to your phone audio. And if that doesn't work, you can also dial in from your phone. Oh, and she can't hear us. So Maria, want to put that in the chat now that I just said that out loud? Okay. So we're going to talk through some of the high level things about our school and try to leave space for everyone to ask questions. So when you see this little bee with the question, because we're the bumblebees, that's a great time to just come off of mute. If you don't want to come off of mute and you'd rather utilize the chat function, please go ahead and feel free to do that as well. So please, we would love to start by getting to know a little bit more about each of you. So if you could please enter your name and your potential student's name into the chat, and just let us know what you would like to know more about. So I might say, hi, my name is Hudgins, and I would like to know more about sports at your school, something like that. So please go ahead and enter into the chat so we can make sure we cover whatever things you're interested about learning tonight. Okay, great. Extracurriculars, thank you so much. All right, we can definitely take some time to ask about some extracurriculars that we also have. Okay, we can learn about curriculum and art, computer science, music availability, and also any after school options. We can definitely address those. So when we get to our first question section, after we talk about like our school schedule, we'll spend a little bit more time here and we can dive a little deeper into our curriculum. And yes, the uniforms, we'll talk about that closer towards the end of the presentation. And then Ms. Cepeda, if you want to just respond to that chat with the lottery drawing date. I know it is like March, April-ish.
It will be April 1st.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. All right, so we'll keep going. First, we wanted to say that we are so excited that you are interested in learning more about our school. I have been with this school for about 8 years, and I love everything about being a bumblebee. And as you'll see, there's lots of black and yellow. We're all about our bumblebee pride, all of that good stuff. So I am excited that you're interested in learning more about our school. So my name is Hudgins. I am the principal at Achievement First Elementary School. This is my first year as a principal. It's kind of crazy. We're already like 7 months in, but I have been a part of our school for 7 years. This is my 8th year. I was a classroom teacher. I taught 1st grade, 3rd grade, and 2nd grade. And then I spent the 3 years prior to becoming a principal doing some Dean of Student Experience work. So that's like, I get to like dress up in the fun costumes, make sure everybody has fun at school, you know, support anybody who's having a hard time, and just really help build a community of bumblebees and, you know, have kids who are proud to come to school every single day. Not related to school, I'm the oldest of 4 siblings. I moved to Providence to attend Brown University, where I played women's lacrosse for 4 years. And then Maria, am I drawing on the screen? I might be. Sorry about that. And then some things I'm known for is, here I said it, I'm wearing silly outfits, helping kids grow their social emotional skills, and just really making sure, like, my goals are that kids love coming to school, teachers love teaching in my school, and that everybody wants to be here every single day. So I do my best to try to make that happen. You're good, Maria. This is Mr. Subiador. I'm also going to see if I can erase this. Oh no, it's not me. We'll try to get that red line off the screen. I don't know what happened there, but this is Mr. Subiador. He is our director of school operations. And this was also his first year joining our team. He is from Denver, and he went to college in New York at the School of Visual Arts. He worked with Denver Public Schools for a multitude of years, but has really done a lot to oversee programs and grants that provide equitable access to college and career opportunities. He is like all about these extracurricular activities, and so we are really working to get some more programs up and running at our school. And then he also is married to Liz, and those are his 2 beautiful children in that photo there. So that's a little bit about us. Over to you, Ms. Cepeda.
Hello, my name is Ms. Cepeda, Maria Cepeda. I am a student service manager. I was previously the OC office coordinator here, and also principal assistant. I am super excited to welcome all of our students and have their best experience of their life. I love being here, but every single effort, my 20,000%, not 100, 20,000% every single day. I have 2 kids. My daughter's in 3rd grade, soon to be 4th grade. My son is a toddler, also soon to be 2nd grade. He's gonna be 2 years old. And I enjoy spending time with them. They're like my life.
Thank you, Maria. I'm gonna do a quick stop the screen share, so that way, that's the only way I can get that red line to go away. So, all right. So what we're gonna spend tonight doing is just talking a little bit about us. So we just did our introductions, and we got to hear from you all in the chat as well, and the things you're interested in hearing about. We'll talk a little bit about our values and our beliefs, our school culture, our academic program. There we can take a deep dive into our content. We'll talk about what family partnerships mean at our school, and then just share out some next steps with you all. So really your job is to get comfortable, be focused, take notes, ask questions, all of that good stuff. I know Zoom is like very awkward, and I wish we were all in the auditorium together, but please don't hesitate to come off mute, ask questions, all of that stuff. I want to hear from you all, and I don't want this to be 60 minutes of me talking at you. So please ask any questions as you need to. So to start, the big headline here is we take pride in the fact that our hive is different. Our kids love coming to school. Our job, like our teacher's job, my job is to just make sure that kids feel that bumblebee pride. And so one thing specifically that makes us different is you'll notice that all of our classroom names are named after colleges. And we have some really strong classroom pride when it comes to fight songs and bumblebee circles on Fridays and all of that good stuff. That top photo is one of our friends who was learning about Julia Childs and how she was a chef. So they made pizza when they were in kindergarten. Obviously it's fake pizza, but you know, all that good stuff. And then we have one of our friends down here just doing some learning through the computer. We use a lot of computer-based programs to help with like interventions and those types of things as well. And don't worry, I'll have lots and lots of pictures. So our theme is that we want children to be known and loved in our school. And so that starts really from the minute that they walk into our doors. And so one thing about us is that we have, right now, we have extended school days and extended school years, which means we are in school, like in session for about 185 days out of the year, when your public school is 180 days. And then our extended school day goes from roughly, our doors open at 7:15 and then dismissal starts around 3 o'clock. It is definitely a longer day, but parents seem to be in favor of it. And we are definitely working to make sure that we get the most out of all of the time that we have with our kids. And then one other quick thing is that on Fridays, we do half days because all of our teachers have professional development on Fridays. So our Friday half days dismissal starts at 12:30, and then all of our teachers are in professional development from about 1 to 4 every Friday. So taking a closer look at the schedule, every day we'll start with about a half an hour of arrival and breakfast, and then kids go right into morning meeting. We really take pride in starting the day as a community all together. This was obviously pictures pre-COVID where we were on the rug and all close together and that kind of stuff. So these pictures like feel priceless in this moment. But the morning is one of my favorite times of day, just getting to see the kids come into the building, saying hi, playing some music, like that kind of stuff, just getting kids, excited to be here. And then throughout the day, we have lunch, recess. In terms of lunch, we do offer families free and reduced meals. And then we also love recess. We have a beautiful swing set and playground outside. And we also just have focused a lot on like the socio-emotional aspect of like making sure that our kids are playing throughout the day. We know that that was something that we have seen was really missed, especially while kids were remote last year. So we've really made sure to take pride in our cooperative play times of the day. Fridays in the Hive. Fridays are the best days ever. We have Bumblebee Circle on Fridays, and in our remote world, we were having Friday Bumblebee Circle virtually because we were at home. And then ideally we'll get to a place where we are all back in the gym. But for now, with our COVID safety guidance, we actually have Bumblebee Circle out in our field. So our whole entire school goes outside, we all circle up. We do our classroom cheers and all of those things on Fridays when the weather is permitting. Obviously during the winter, we've had to pause that, but I'm already excited to get back in the sunshine and outside. The other thing that we do on Fridays is Friday activities. And we have special Friday uniforms where we have gray sweatshirts and black sweatpants that kids get to buy from Donnelly's, and they can, dress like they have their Friday dress down, which kids love. And then Fridays are really just days where we focus on interventions and kind of catching up on the things throughout the week. So kids have time for Free Write Friday and all of those types of things. We also have enrichment. So our kids have access to PE, art, technology, and social emotional learning. This year, we also hired a drama teacher this year. Our PE teacher, I will tell anybody in the world, is gotta be one of the best in all of Rhode Island. You'll see here, those are actually like golf stations. So he was able to partner with a local golf course to get little kid-sized golf clubs. So they added a golf unit into their PE classes. He takes a ton of pride in being able to connect with our communities and just get our kids as much access to different things, different sports as possible. And then the photo to the right is somebody working on some art skills. So Ms. Pimenta is our art teacher. And both of our enrichment teachers have been here for quite a few years. So we take a lot of pride in our enrichment programs throughout the day. So kids will take an enrichment class for 6 to 7 weeks, and then they rotate. So everybody gets to take a little bit of everything throughout the year, and they actually cycle through each class twice. And then we talked a little bit about this already, but dismissal starts at 2:45 on Monday through Thursday, and then 12:30 on Fridays. Buses are determined based off of where you live, and then anybody who is within a mile of the school does not qualify. Is it a mile or 2 miles, Maria? Just one, yeah. If you live within 1 mile of the school, you don't qualify for busing. But if you are outside of 1 mile, then you would qualify for buses. And that's sort of the high level parts of our day. The next thing that we'll jump into is our curriculum. So if you have any questions about the things we just talked about, now's a great time to come off of mute or put in the chat. I know it's sometimes hard to come off of mute, but if you have any questions, go ahead.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, my question is, do you guys have music for the kids? So let's say, for instance, if a kid wanted to pick up on how to play an instrument, would that be possible?
So you are
Sorry,
you are speaking my language. I am working, this is like I told everybody last year when I became a principal, my goal is to have a band either for next year or the year after that. We kind of put a pause on it because our network said we couldn't do band due to COVID. And so we actually were not able to like even start that process last year because it wasn't allowed because of COVID. So right now we do not have band, but this is like one of my projects that I would like to make happen is making sure that we have a band and an orchestra and a chorus at our school. And if not with our school, then like partnering with the middle school that starts with 5th grade to ensure that our kids have access to that. But it's a great question.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, no problem. There's a question in the chat that just says, do we have after school programs? We have not been able to have after school programs. Well, I'm hoping transparently that we get a lot of our flexibility back once we see COVID sort of decrease. We used to have after school programs called Encore where kids could, for 3 to 4 weeks, pick an after school program to participate in. But for the most part, we have not offered after school programs for the last 2 years. But there are lots of kids who get picked up by John Hope, by Boys and Girls Club, by Love for All, which are some of the neighborhood after school programs. So they are able to come and pick kids up and bring them back to their locations and do after school activities with them there. All right, we have a lot more time for questions, so I'll keep going. So this is our mascot, Bernie, and he is new this year, but our school values and the things that we reiterate with kids is that we want to be safe, be kind, and be responsible while we are at school. And so we have a couple of videos from some of our bumblebees just quickly talking about what it means to be safe, be kind, and be responsible.
What it is to be kind is to be caring, patient, and understanding.
So Victor said what it is to be patient or to be kind is to be patient and understanding. So that's one of our 2nd grade students.
What it is to be kind is to be caring, patient, and understanding.
Caring, patient, understanding. Here's what it means to be responsible.
What it means to be responsible is be dependable, do the right thing when teachers are not watching, and keep your mask over your nose.
Be responsible, be dependable, and do the right thing when teachers aren't watching. Love that. That's a little integrity there.
What it means to be responsible is be dependable, do the right thing when teachers are not watching, and keep your mask over your nose.
Each video just wants to play twice, so we'll let that happen because they're short. And here's Santiago telling us what it means to be safe.
To be safe in school, I mean to walk in the hallways, listen to your teachers, and do the right thing when teachers are not looking.
Oh, look at that one only played once and I didn't repeat it. He said, making sure that you're listening to your teachers and doing the right thing. So that's a little bit about what our bumblebees think. The other thing about our bees is that our bees are reaching goals. At Providence Elementary School, our scholars are reaching their reading and math goals above the national average. And so we work really hard on our academic programming to ensure that that happens. Do we have a question? You can feel free to come right off of mute.
Okay, thank you. My question is, how many ratio per students, per teacher do you have in class?
So we have 2 teachers in every classroom, and there is anywhere from like 28 to 32 students per class, and we have 3 classes per grade.
So you have rough between 28 and 32 students per class, and you have 2 teachers
Yeah,
for kindergarten students?
yes, yep,
That's a lot of students.
yes,
Okay.
it is. That's why we have 2 teachers in there, and we are, and we had some, like, when things were remote, classroom sizes were a little bit different. But the way most achievement first models is they utilize the co-teacher model. So it is like 1 teacher per 15 kids, but you obviously have both of those 15 kids in one room. So it actually ends up with 30 kids in the classroom and 2 teachers.
Okay, so the second part, so it's actually 2 teachers, not a teacher assistant?
No,
Teacher,
it's 2, it's
okay.
2 teachers, 2 full-time
Okay.
teachers, and then we also have like intervention teachers who support specific classrooms. We have TIRs and TAs, 1 per grade that float, but there are 2 full-time teachers in every classroom.
Okay, and what are the I know the generation where we are now with the whole thing with society, and what are the security prevention you guys have in place for, I don't know, when you know, God forbid, we had guns students in class or whatever, like what are the things that you guys put in perspective, or what do you guys have for safety for our kids?
So for safety, I mean, we have our traditional safety protocols. So we would call things like a code red, a code yellow, a code green based off of the severity. So like our kids go into lockdown, like we practice lockdown drills, we practice fire drills, we practice bomb drills, like all of those things. We utilize like an intercom system across our school building. All of our teachers are on group threads. So if there's any like short-term communication that needs to go out, we're able to turn that around quickly. And then I think there's not like, we don't have a school security officer who works here. We don't have like metal detectors and things like that. We just have our kids come into the building every day. And I think for the most part, we in terms of like intentional things, we're just constantly trying to build really strong relationships, making sure that we're noticing and checking in with kids every single day. So for the most part, we have not had any sort of like safety threats. The only thing that has happened is there has been a moment, like a situation that happened outside of the building where our kids had to come back inside, and we had a different dismissal plan and protocol. In terms of like other safety things, like you need to have a placard to come and pick up your students, like that sort of stuff are some of the safety stuff that we have implemented, in addition to just like making sure that we're talking to our kids around what it means to be safe at school and that sort of stuff.
Thank you. And one of my last question is, so for us to get into the building, we have to be buzz in and buzz out, or at least the kids have to be buzzed in. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep. You have to, we have a buzzer system. So we actually, like, you can't get into the building unless the office opens the door, or you have like a key fob, but only our staff have those.
Thank you again.
So here's just some pictures of kids. This is actually some of our kindergartners from 2 years ago, learning and just doing some math work. So we see some remote work happening. Jeremy's over here practicing his numbers. We got some writing happening. This was some letter sounds, filling in the correct letter sounds. We have some top quality work walls where our teachers are writing all of the wonderful things that are on the kindergarten writing work. Maybe you can't tell, but Gianna's smiling underneath that mask in that picture. So like really, we just pride ourselves on making sure that our kids love learning every single day. Some other things that might be important to consider is like our special services. So we are a full inclusion school. If your child has an IEP, they can attend our school. We want them to attend our school. We provide or give assistance with speech, occupational, and physical therapy, academic and behavior interventions. And then we also utilize our co-teaching model, making sure that we have certified classrooms so that they're able to differentiate in whatever ways they need to, which allows them to pull smaller groups. And then we also offer pull-out supports. Underlying all of our entire special education program, we just believe that all students have the ability to meet our rigorous academic standards and benchmarks. Are there any questions related to our sort of school values? All right, I will keep it going. So one of the things that we really pride ourselves on is having our parents as partners. And so we love posting what's happening on Class Dojo to make sure that our parents can have insight into classrooms, into our school events. We're always doing a lot, and this has become increasingly more important through COVID because we haven't been able to have any visitors in the building yet. So each of our teachers has their own it's almost like their own Instagram page, but it's a secure website that only parents can access. And so they get to post pictures. We have a whole school page and we have a classroom page, and we just put all of our successful things that we want to share with our school community on here. We also do have a regular Instagram page that you can feel free to follow. Like our pictures, like our videos, all that stuff, but we like to post a lot of the day-to-day stuff that's happening on our Instagram. And then one thing that we love to do is just make sure, we just deeply believe that attendance is the #1 predictor of academic success. If our kids are in school, we know that they're going to be learning, and we do our best to make sure that school is a place where kids want to be every single day. So some things that we love to do is dance parties. So we are frequently having dance parties. This is me in a pumpkin costume for National Pumpkin Day. And that's Miss Cepeda yelling in the background. And so literally what we'll do is we'll run through the classroom, say hello to everybody, disrupt them for like 30 seconds, and then literally 2 minutes later, it's like no one was there, and kids get right back to it. We also have a ton of student experience events. So the first photo over here is from First Responders Day. So we had some firefighters and some police officers bring their fire trucks and their horses and their police cars down to school, and each of our kids got to go out and see them. One of my personal favorite days is when we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, and all of our kids come dressed up in their clothes that represent their culture. And then over here, we took a field trip this year to United States of America for our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th graders. And they all got to go skating, and our kindergartners and 1st graders went to the zoo. So we just love making sure that our kids are having a ton of fun at school and also learning a lot. I do know that someone had earlier asked about school uniform. So we do ask that our students wear this yellow polo from Donnelly's, and we do ask that they have khaki pants. I think our kids look great in yellow, and also we just love having this sense of community. So we do ask that our parents make sure that they purchase this, and you can order that. There's all that information if you do enter the lottery and get into school. Uniforms is one of the very first things they tell you. And so we were able to partner with Donnelly's this year to make sure that our families who ordered them got them delivered, they were delivered to school, that kind of stuff. So those are our cute new uniforms, black and yellow. We're all about the black and yellow. And then that's where most of my my presentation stops. And so I do know I want to answer some of the questions in the chat about our curriculum. So the thing that's probably easiest is for me to go back up to our schedule page, and I'll be able to tell you a little bit about what everyone's day-to-day looks like and what we're actually doing in those blocks. So here you'll see, this is a schedule from about 2 or 3 years ago. So I'll sort of fill in what we do during these times. So in the morning, we talked a little bit about arrival and morning meeting, and then every student in our school, kindergarten through 4th grade, will have a guided reading block. This will be a 20-minute small group session where they're getting in a group of probably like 5 to 6 kids, getting some small group guided reading instruction based off of their instructional level. And then what they're doing during the rest of that time is they're at like centers-based learning. We do a lot of work with daily fives, and our kids absolutely love it. We implemented this new program this year. So they could either be doing word work, they could be doing sight words, they could be working on writing, they could be reading to someone, they could be reading to their self. So that was a new program that we implemented this year that our kids loved. In terms of kindergarten, 1st grade, and 2nd graders, they also do a program called Foundations, where it is sort of like a hands-on sort of the teacher models, and then kids join after, sort of like an I do, we do model. This is the only time of day that we use that model, but Foundations is like a scientifically proved phonics instructional curriculum that we also piloted this year for the first time. Our kids' spelling has been drastically changed. Our teachers love it. The kids love it. It's literally one of their favorite times of day is when they get to see baby Echo and mama Echo from Foundations. Then there's some transition times. Kids get lunch, kids get recess. In terms of our core math, we do a lot of work from just Eureka Math and Engage New York, so that our lesson plans are provided from there. The other thing that we also implemented is CGI, which is called Cognitively Guided Instruction. And so this has really shifted a lot of our math program away from the like, I'm gonna show you how to do this thing, and really build on just like kids' natural curiosities when it comes to learning math. And then in the rest of the day, so they'll have math, 2 blocks of math, guided reading. They may also have a humanities block. So humanities is where we try to like weave in social studies, social studies and social emotional learning. So our first unit in kindergarten is actually like all about me and all about my feelings, and they read books about feelings and that sort of stuff. So that's like their first humanities lesson or humanities unit. Then all of our kids also have a science block, and then they also have an enrichment block. And in that enrichment block is where they would do PE, dance, or art. And then I believe that's most of our schedule and most of our day. And as you'll see, it's like pretty busy, but our teachers are great around like taking wiggle breaks and doing that sort of stuff. The specific question was related to, maybe, I just want to answer this. So they definitely have access to art. They use their computer pretty regularly throughout the day. So we do a lot of Nearpod work. I'm very interested in trying to start a coding program. So we are working on that as well. Kids get science every single day. And I shared a little bit about music as well, and where I'm hoping to bring our music, band, orchestra, all that kind of stuff. And then also shared about after school options. For my family members who wanted to know about curriculum, are there any more specific questions you have outside of what I just shared?
Hi, how are you? I just wanted to know, hi. I just wanted to know, is there any difference from what you guys provide in Dino School for the social emotional learning?
Is there any difference between that and what?
Dino School. Dino School? I'm not sure if you.
I don't know what that is. Ms. Zepeda, do you happen to know what that is?
No, it's okay. My other question is, with the Dojo app, are you able to retrieve prior school portfolio?
So their school portfolio is that'll be different. So that comes with like report card notes is really where we put that like in student individual portfolio work there. And so we don't do a ton of that stuff on Dojo, but we
Okay.
do have report card nights two times a year. And then our baseline expectation for family communication is that teachers are communicating with families twice a month at minimum. And I would say our teachers are very good about updating Dojo daily, and they're very responsive to their phones and all that stuff. So if you ever have any like specific needs about how, or specific questions about how your students doing, our teachers are always more than happy to meet, set up times to discuss stuff, and they're always sharing all the like successes and all that good stuff too.
All right, awesome, thank you.
I have another question, sorry. One of my questions that I have is, how often can a parent volunteer to help out in school if it's needed? Is that something that you guys do on your hand?
This is, so we have not had any parent volunteers really for this year or last year, but that's solely because of COVID. Prior to that, we had, so this year we actually have parent volunteers for our book club, or not book club, what's that thing? What is that? The Scholastic Book Fair.
Miss Hudgins, we couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now? Okay. We have not had volunteers just because of COVID. Our network will not allow visitors in the building yet. We're hoping that next year we're gonna be able to like go back to our family game nights and all of that good stuff. But we are always open to having volunteers. You can, like, we have an open door policy when we do have visitors in the building. There's always, you do not ever have to like, well, it's nice to give the teachers a heads up, but if you show up and we're allowed to have visitors and you want to go down to the classroom, we'll just call the teachers, let them know. But we are always like willing and open to receive help from any visitors or volunteers as possible.
Awesome, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. So with that, for volunteers, is there like a background check or you know, any type of background, anything for parents, you know, to come in?
Yeah, so for the most part, we actually haven't had a ton of parent volunteers who are in the building, like working with kids. And so anytime that someone's working with kids, we do follow a like background check. And we also, for this year, right, we would have you fill out a screener and that sort of stuff. But there would never be a moment where like a parent volunteer would be just with a classroom. In our eyes, like parent volunteers might help make copies in the teacher workroom, or they might help with like some of the class parties and that sort of stuff. But it's definitely something that we will take a look at because it's been a while since we've had visitors in the building.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to answer the question in the chat?
When the lottery happens, you guys let us know only if they've been accepted, or you let us know either way. We let you know either way. And then will there be space available for first grade? That will be determined at the end of this year. So we will base our first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade seats on where we end this year. And so I would say we've had some departures in kindergarten from this year, just based off of families moving and that sort of stuff. So I will say that we will likely open seats for first grade for next year. That is usually the grade that has the most open seats. Third and fourth grade, it's a little bit harder to open seats for those grade levels. But first grade, we will likely have open seats this year. Okay, so this is sort of what our biggest ask would be should you choose to partner with us and send your student to our school. But basically we just love to make sure that kids are at school on time every day, as long as they're not sick and we're healthy and all that good stuff. We do ask that kids come to school in their full uniform every day. If your grade level or your teachers send home homework, we ask that you do some homework and read with your child every night. And then our big thing is like, we want you to attend family events. We really look forward to report card nights, getting to talk to our parents, let them know how their students are doing in school, really sharing some strategic strategies that you can use to support your students' growth. And we just really ask that you partner with us in supporting your child and achieving all of their academic goals and that kind of stuff. Here's a slide that just has, I have some, will there be, yes, kindergarten space. Yes, we will open anywhere from like 93 to 96 seats for kindergarten, unless Miss Cepeda's like, Miss Hudgins, we need to open more. So we will open like close to 100 seats for kindergarten, and that will come on April 1st. We celebrate birthdays, holidays in the classrooms. Yes, we try to do as many well-rounded events as possible. So we'll celebrate, so instead of celebrating like Christmas, we'll celebrate winter break to encompass all of the other cultures that are also celebrated at that time. We celebrate Women's History Month, we celebrate Black History Month. Parents bring pizza, they bring cupcakes, they bring all that good stuff. We love celebrating birthdays. We also celebrate things like Autism Awareness Day. We celebrate things like Down Syndrome Day. We celebrate things like National Prematurity Day. So really try to celebrate a wealth of different days and activities, as well as one of our personal favorites we celebrated on Monday, which was National Eat Ice Cream for Breakfast Day. So every kid who came to school on Monday got an ice cream cone with some whipped cream, some sprinkles, some chocolate sauce, all of that stuff, got to make their own like mini sundae. So we are all about our joy calendar and celebrating holidays as a whole school, and also celebrating holidays as classrooms and making sure that kids get to celebrate themselves and the things that they care about and the things that make them important as well.
Ice Cream Monday sounds perfect.
It was a blast. It was a blast. We even bought ice cream for our teachers and they had special teacher ice cream. So
That's awesome.
it was great. It was great. So this slide just has the information for how to enroll in the lottery. So they have this direct email. Ms. Cepeda, if you wouldn't mind just putting that email in the chat so that way parents can have it if they need it. And then that is a cell phone number, or that is a phone number that will connect you directly to the enrollment office. And there is somebody who's there working and responding to any emails and will respond to you within 24 hours. And then there's also the brochure that was already shared out, and I think that there will be a follow-up email that shares this information as well as any other information through the way you signed up through the Eventbrite. So there should be a follow-up email coming out of this, and I will also reply to the email where I just sent my Zoom link to everybody, and I'll include the PowerPoint slides and also this contact information as well. And so before we close out, we wanted to say thank you. And of course, if there are any more questions before we end our time, now is a great time to please come off of mute and ask any final questions that you have. And I'll stop sharing my screen.
Sorry, I feel like I'm asking a lot of questions, and that's because I'm a first-time mom and my child hasn't left my house in 5 years. So
yes, that is okay. You don't need to apologize for that.
So my questions are, I don't know whether they make sense, but they make sense to me. One of my questions that I have is that I'm not sure if you guys received my application. I did submit a registry for him, and I submitted it, but I'm not sure if you guys received it, but I received an email from you, so I'm assuming that you guys did receive it.
Ms. Cepeda, I'll let you take that one. I don't know how the enrollment process works.
Okay, so I'll put my email there so you can email me his name and information, and I'll confirm that this was submitted.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, so I mean, we've said it earlier today, but we are more than happy to answer any questions that you may have as we go through the enrollment process and the lottery process as well. If you need any help or any support, please don't hesitate to reach out. We are more than happy to even like connect you with other, we have great families already enrolled who would love to, like, they're more than happy to talk to you about what it's like if you're a first time kindergarten mom, right, who's sending their kid to school and that's just scary because they haven't left. So we have plenty of families who are more than happy to connect with you if you have any other questions.
I have a question, sorry.
Yes, yeah.
When I did the lottery, I did it for both of my kids, but one is going on kindergarten, but the other one is going on 4th grade. How is it gonna work on that situation?
So in those situations, there's like, if there's a seat open, you'll get the choice for one of your students. If there's both seats open and we're able to offer both of them, then we will. But you have a higher likelihood of getting your kindergartner enrolled just because obviously we're opening more seats. If we do open a 4th grade seat, it might only be 1 or 2 seats, and depending on how many parents apply, obviously your chances of getting that seat pulled are a little bit lower. But we actually have multiple families whose younger students got enrolled in kindergarten and they stay with us from kindergarten, and each year they just apply their other student for the lottery. I would also say when kids go to middle school, and they're in 5th grade, our middle school tends to have open seats in 5th grade as well. So if you don't get into 4th grade and your kindergartner does get in, you can always reapply to the middle school as well. And that's where a lot of our older siblings are able to join the Achievement First program.
And they get surveillance preference too.
Thank you.
All right, I did have one last question. I was just looking back at my notes and I realized that there were several Achievement First options that I applied to. So I was just wondering if you could clarify.
Yes, so we are Achievement First Providence. We are not on DeBoule Street. We're on 370 Hartford Ave. And so we are one of 2 fully grown elementary schools. So we are all the way K4 fully grown, and our middle school is also 5 through 8, so they're fully grown. But we do have 2 other elementary. We have Illuminar Middle School that's also K through 4. Illuminar Elementary School that's K4. That's on Garfield Ave, and you'll see them there, the Fireflies. So they have orange uniforms. And then the one on DeBoule Street is Promesa. So they're in their founding year. So right now they are only a K2 school, and next year they'll be adding a 3rd grade. The year after that, they add a 4th grade. So they're growing in that way. And then there's one more school that just opened this past year called Envision. And Envision is only a K1 school right now. So there's 4 elementary schools, all very similar names, so very confusing, but we're the Bumblebees. We're Achievement First Providence Elementary School at 370 Hartford Ave. And when you apply for the lottery, you apply for, I think you can select your preference for the schools, but if we don't open seats, but the other school does pull you, then you could still, like, if you don't get into our lottery, you could still get into the lottery at Promesa. They all pull at the same time.
So you guys, I'm sorry. So you guys are from kindergarten school to what? To grade 8?
Our elementary school is just K4, but our middle school
K4.
is in the same building, and they're 5 through 8. And then our high school actually just opened this year, and they're in 9th grade.
Oh,
so they're
perfect.
Just 9th grade, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And Katie, did you have a follow-up question? Sorry.
So when it's listed on it, are you guys the Mayoral Academy Elementary?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I want to make sure I'm like adding my notes in the right place. Thank you.
Great questions. Any other questions? Okay. So I will close out our Zoom, and I just want to say one more time, thank you so much for spending this time together. And we wish you all, our fingers are crossed for the lottery, and we will see you all hopefully in April when we have some orientations. So thank you for your time, and please don't hesitate to reach out and call the office if you have any further questions. All right, thank you so much. Bye.